few months ago, I had the incredible opportunity to sit at the feet of none other than Rod Meldrum, soaking in his wisdom about the greatest global flood in history, the baptism of the earth. We delved into the deluge, the truth about how long it takes to form crystals, the truth about it, and the truth about how long it takes to form fossils. My mind was blown. We talked about the young earth, which we both believe. And I know you can have your own theories, but watch. We even talked about how to make your own fossils at home. Rod's insights were nothing short of fascinating, revealing why there's evidence that the earth is a water world rather than a molten ball of lava. Water is holy. Water is life. It makes sense to my spirit. I don't know about you, how you're going to come away from this, but it makes sense to me. Now, I must warn you, Rod can talk forever. The main video is a whopping 3 hours and 20 minutes long, but don't worry, I've got you covered. I split it up into 7 main talking points for easier digestion. So without further ado, enjoy the playlist, The Baptism of a Young Earth. Can I say something real quick?
What's that?
If you find me on the floor, folks, I have been injected and OD'd with geology from this guy right here. This is the most geology I've ever had in my life. We only do deep
dives here, man.
He's like shooting me up with geology. I'm joking.
Yeah. You blinded me with science.
I'm all, ah!
All right.
This is amazing.
Which
love
then
it.
brings us to some other interesting things. Like, for example, here we have this is Associated Press. This is I don't know if you can see it. If you get the DVD, I have these actual the actual articles and so forth there. But this is Associated.
It's only $10,
Press.
Folks. The DVD's $10.
Get it now while it's hot.
They're selling like hotcakes.
66% off. Okay. So scientists recover T-Rex soft tissue right here, right? Basically, so this is March 24, 2005. For more than a century, the study of dinosaurs has been limited to fossilized bones. Now, researchers have recovered 70 million year old soft tissue, including what may be blood vessels and cells from a T-Rex. If scientists can isolate proteins from the material, they may be able to learn details about how the dinosaurs lived, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, it was recovered dinosaur DNA, the blueprint of life. Okay. The problem is that this is soft tissue. This is not a bone. This is like meat, the fleshy part of the dinosaur. And they actually have images of this where they were able to take it with forceps and actually stretch it. It was stretchy. And that's not supposed to happen. Okay. Soft tissues were recovered from a T-bone, a thigh bone of a T-Rex known as MOR 1125 that was found in a sandstone formation in Montana. The dinosaur was about 18 years old when it died. The bone was broken and was removed from the site, and this lady by the name of Schweitzer and her colleagues then analyzed the material inside the bone. And then basically they said, you keep this quiet or we will fire you if you say anything about soft tissue from a dinosaur still being around, because the soft tissue should have over 70 million years have completely disintegrated into basically, its constituent parts. Okay.
In 2003, a team of paleontologists finished excavating an incomplete yet extremely well-preserved T-Rex skeleton. During transport, the animal's femur, its thigh bone, had to be broken in two. While the bone was eventually put back together, pieces that had fallen out were kept separate and then sent to Dr. Mary Schweitzer for dissection and analysis. After applying a mild acid to the fragments to remove hard minerals, a diverse collection of soft material could be seen under the microscope. It included what looked like cells and tiny blood vessels. They were very degraded, but similar to those commonly found inside fresh bone. chemical analysis further revealed what looked like animal proteins. Dr. Schweitzer was shocked. According to our understanding at the time, unless treated with chemicals, the way that leather is, for example, and then further sealed for preservation, soft tissue was predicted to completely deteriorate, even under the best of circumstances, in less than 1 million years. This T-Rex leg bone, however, was thought to be millions of years old. What could this discovery of soft tissue mean?
But anyway, so we don't have time to go into all the details on that. I do talk about that some more. Turns out that she got fired, but then she got rehired by another group. Okay. This is another guy. This is another lawsuit here. If you can see that very well there, let's see.
Looks like one of those dinosaur models inside of a museum or something.
Yeah, can you read the top of that there?
Lawsuit: CSUN scientists fired after soft tissue found on dinosaur fossil.
All of a sudden, all kinds of other scientists were finding soft tissue in dinosaur fossils. They're supposedly millions of years old, but that's not supposed to be happening, right? Because it says upon examination of the horn under high-powered microscope back at CSUN, that's the California State University at Northridge. Dacus says Armitage was fascinated to find soft tissue on the sample. The discovery, Backus says, stunned the members of the school's biology department and even some students, quote, because it indicates that dinosaurs roamed the earth only thousands of years in the past rather than going extinct 60 million years ago, unquote.
How do you explain the dinosaur fossils we have and the ways we date them?
Yeah, so I would ask, first of all, anyone asking that question, how many people are aware that there is soft tissue inside those dinosaur bones? Well, the secular scientists who had been studying them for around a century had no clue there were until someone made a mistake in a lab, accidentally broke one open, and discovered soft tissue. Now, the reason no one ever thought to do this is, of course, it's ridiculous. How could soft tissue possibly survive for 100 million years? But we now know that it does exist in there, and so there are reasons to think that those dinosaur bones are a lot younger than we would expect. I would also say, as basically what we discussed earlier with the RATE project, that there are some issues open to discussion about radiometric dating, that's how they really test them. They check the rock layers they're in and measure atoms within there to try and detect the age of those atoms. I would also then point out that basically my whole thing in my opening statement, arguing that there does seem to be evidence that the Mesozoic layers of the fossil record were laid down in a singular global flood. And that would also suggest then the biblical account of how the dinosaurs were laid down is correct.
Okay. So to respond, I would say that while it is surprising, and it's an interesting and welcome discovery that there can be soft tissue in petrified bones that date to 70 or more million years ago, that is unexpected, but it doesn't actually give us reason to believe that they're young, because soft tissue will remain soft tissue indefinitely for millions of years, if you isolate it from its environment, so it doesn't have anything to interact with. If you put it in a freezer and in a vacuum and cut it off from any other elements to interact with, it's going to stay soft tissue forever. And so the inference that you can draw is that in this hunk of rock that formed from a bone, there was a pocket that was sufficiently cut off from its environment that we have a form of soft tissue left. Now, that's unexpected, but it doesn't give us reason to believe that this rock that formed from a hunk of bone is recent, because we don't have good evidence for rocks being formed from bones by underground water leaching through them in just a few thousand years. You need longer than that to have petrification take place.
And that is not true. He's obviously not a believer in God or the flood or anything like that. I shouldn't say obviously, but he doesn't seem to be on the same page with the guy that just spoke. But that last comment that he made, that petrification takes a lot longer than thousands of years, that's false. Because if you watch the rest of this series, this 7-part series, you will see that petrification can happen within hours. And there's experiments that people do, and Rod has done, that prove that. So there's really nothing else that the secularist scientists can lean on. It's very hard, to put it that way.
So he got fired, and then he ended up fighting back and actually got his job back and so forth, apparently.